Everybody, welcome to another national championship episode. As always, I'm Darren Michael, and with me, the man who actually is about to leave for Athens. He's the Grand Marshal of tomorrow's national championship parade, Mr. Phil Calise. Phil, let's just get right into it, man. What'd you think of the game?
I think that you and I talking right now is more exciting than that 60-minute slobber fest.
You
I
you
mean,
called it. You said that it was going to be a complete blowout, and I said that I thought it was going to be close, and it was more of wishful thinking than anything else.
hmm,
But I want you to interpret the game for us because you are, as it says right there, the football king.
yeah, and that term has been bestowed upon me by our president, our former president, and two presidents before them. So this is the way it is. Um, I think it's more of, I think there's a talent gap, but that, is something even you in your limited knowledge should have understood. But there's also, I'm a little feisty on a Friday if you didn't know, but
Seriously.
also I think it's a little bit also a classic case of happy to be there versus expecting to win. TCU just won a game they weren't expected to win.
That's
And
true.
now we're in the national title game. And all the reservation most felt about them all year, if you look at all of their scores,
Yeah, yeah.
they struggled through the Big 12. They won a bunch of games by 3, 6, 7 points. That's what they were in a mediocre conference.
That's true.
And they lost the Big 12 title game. And then they beat what we also kind of thought, most people thought was Michigan, who had a pretty weak schedule to get to where they got. But they did a great job of winning that game. And then they were just classically overmatched in that game.
Yeah.
A couple things didn't go their way, but they were classically overmatched. The game got out of hand quickly, and they could quickly see they couldn't do anything. And you get yourself a hellacious game. And the ratings on that game by the second quarter had to be bad. And by the end, I don't know who was watching it unless you were a Georgia fan.
That's true. That's true. Which
So,
everybody here was excited and watching it. Yeah, I'm watching that thing too, and I just it's just disturbing to me how a national championship team, which is supposed to have the two best teams in the country, one who
yeah.
wins by 58 points. Let me ask you this: do you think that Georgia was just that much better than everybody else this year?
No,
You
because
don't think
the
so?
game because the game before they almost lost to Ohio State. So no.
Right. But
No.
you know what? But listen, anybody can beat anybody on any given day. We know that, right? I mean, don't
Yeah,
you
but
think that was
but
just a good day for them? Maybe a wake up call for Georgia. Maybe they were looking ahead. Hey, we're going to be the
well,
champions. We don't need to take this game that seriously. Maybe that's why it was so close.
no, I don't, but I do think every great team inevitably survives a game or two throughout their schedule. If you look back at every great team, they have a game or two they have to life or death survive. That's what made them even more potent going into the title game. They had just survived their should have lost game. And so that makes a great team even better because it's like, oh, you should have beat me. Now you didn't. Now you gave me another a chance. So
Yeah.
no, listen, I don't think it's a fluke that Ohio State goes toe to toe with anybody. We know that they didn't by accident go up 2 touchdowns in the fourth quarter. They were playing really well and looked like they belonged with Georgia, basically in Georgia's backyard. So I don't take anything away from Ohio State.
It's
I just
true.
think Ohio State found a way to come back and win. They missed the field goal late and they survived their game. And then by the time they get to the title game, that is a classic mismatch of talent. It just
Yeah.
is.
Yeah. It is.
TCU, they got 5,000 kids that go there. They
It is.
don't, they probably have the sixth best recruiting class in the state of Texas. That's not taking anything away from that coach. Looks like he's amazing. What they've been able to do with that team is amazing.
Oh, it's
But
incredible. It's
but
incredible.
once you have amazing coaches on both sides of the field and the talent gap that wide, you are not out coaching Kirby Smart. I don't even think Kirby Smart's the best coach, but once you get guys on that level, you're not going to out coach him when you have 3-star recruits and 2-star recruits against all 5 stars. Like
That's true.
that's a mismatch.
No, it's true. It's true. I mean,
So we move on to let's put a bow on it though. A bow on college football. Oh, what did I finish? I finished 27, 14 and 1, 7 and 6 in my best bets. Did anything surprise you this year? I
no.
mean,
I mean, the fun thing about this season is that there were a few surprises out there, but for the most part, I'll tell you, the biggest surprise that I saw in the college football season was Tulane. I
okay,
think they
I'll
were
go with
the
that.
biggest surprise. I mean, they I mean, they came back and they beat USC, who was playing to get into the playoff. They beat USC in the bowl game, and just incredible
Beat the
stuff.
Heisman Trophy winner. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't even know they had a sports program at Tulane. To be honest with you, I mean that's
I can
how.
go with that. I'll give you three things. One's a team, and two is like college football in general. The team is look out for Florida State's back. If people didn't realize that, Florida State's coming. They finished 10th or 11th.
Yeah.
Their recruiting is coming up. And we
Okay.
always talk about this. You and I, sometimes not on podcasts, but you and I have talked about this on many occasions. I don't feel as though that deep South corridor that we've seen Georgia emerge out of and the state of Florida can all coexist at the same time.
Yeah.
Meaning there's just not enough Southern recruits that are going to keep the three big Florida schools and Georgia great.
Mhm.
And so you can always look and see when a few of them get great, usually it's at the expense of a few others. And so
Sure.
that's what happened. Georgia's insane emergence has been the three Florida schools haven't been anywhere near what they used to be,
Yep.
all
Yep.
three of them. But in particular, Florida State's coming off a 5 year debacle compared to like the previous 25 years where they were an institution in the top
That's
10,
true. That's
more
true.
so even in the top five. So my prediction is who's Florida stealing from? I think they're hurting Florida and I think they're hurting Miami because obviously Georgia's still doing what they're doing. I
Yep. Yep.
think Florida's going to stay down and Miami's going to stay down and Florida State's emerging. And I think you're going to see a little more of a crack in the armor of Clemson. And I think that's what because you can't have it all. You're never going to have all of them be good. And I think Florida State's going to take a little from Clemson, a little from Florida, a little from Miami, and they're going to become number two behind Georgia in that deep South. I know Florida is not always the South, but like Florida and Georgia. Yeah, I just think a few of them out of the five can be great, no
Yeah.
more than that.
I
And
agree.
I think that's what you're seeing. So my prediction is Florida State. This isn't a fluke. They're top 10 again. I think they're back. Um, my two college football things to put a bow on it. NIL has been a nightmare.
Nightmare.
It has absolutely destroyed college football. Not shocking. It's now pay for play. You're seeing now what Deion Sanders is doing in Colorado. We never even talk about Deion Sanders, but like you're seeing, like literally, he's just pickpocketing the portal. So it's the NIL and the portal have just become insanity for college football. It
Yeah.
is now year to year free agency.
That's right.
It is pay for play and the model around the academic model has long been crushed. And so even if somebody cynically says, well, what do you think? Athletes weren't getting paid for the last 30 years to go somewhere. You made it the wild, wild west now. Was there an occasional thing going on? Sure. Reggie Bush was driving around in a whatever, an Escalade back in the early 2000s. Lendell White said a house was bought for him from those old USC teams. I'm sure stuff was going on at a few of these big schools. I'm sure. But now it's everywhere. And now you have coaches complaining that when they walk into the house, the first thing the mom and dad says is, okay, what are we talking about money wise? Like that wasn't the conversation even 2 years ago. So,
Yep.
and the portal aspect of it, and I've heard college football coaches say this, including Deion Sanders, that said, we're going to make a living in the portal. And other coaches have even
I know.
said, why would we take why would we take a chance on why would we take a chance on um, going in and like worrying about a junior or senior in high school and recruiting him when we can just wait for a freshman who's had a modicum of success to just go pull him from that school. He's already a year stronger. He's 18, 19. He's been in a college football system. He's had even some success. And then you throw him some money and now
Yeah.
you just go grab him. And the biggest thing too is if you're Alabama, like people think like, okay, Deion Sanders is going to be able to make Colorado good quick
Hmm.
because he's going to be able to grab. He actually said his model is 40, 40, 20. I don't know if you heard that. 40% out of the portal, 40 JUCO, and 20% high school. That's their model. But an Alabama, a Georgia, pick your favorite school, Ohio State, big schools, they're now never going to have to retool. If
Right.
Alabama goes, oh man, we lost 7 key contributors to the draft, Nick Saban literally goes, okay, find me the best safety in college football that's in the portal And it's worse than that. They're not even finding them. They're basically through back channels telling them, go put your name in the portal. We're going to take you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So if you're the stud receiver at Pittsburgh and you're like, oh, Ohio State needs a receiver because all of them went to the NFL, and you get a knock on the door and it's like, hey, just throw your name in the portal. We're taking you.
Yeah, yeah.
What do they call it in tampering? It's
It's
legalized tampering now in the college football world where there's no oversight.
it's disgusting.
It's bad. It's horrible. College football is done. They have to do something quickly. It's over. I don't know if you know this. Like Notre Dame came out. Marcus Freeman said, "Listen, we can't compete with the NIL stuff. Like Notre Dame won't allow it. They're going to try to do it through like the proper channels. Like, hey, if we can get you a marketing offer, if we can get you something." But they lost. They had like 5 recruits flip on them, a top 100 recruits in the last 2 minutes before signing day,
Sure,
and
sure.
they said massive money was thrown at all of them.
Of course, that's the way it is.
So they can't compete either with it. So it's not just big schools. It's like the 1% of schools that are going to be able to do it.
It's a
And
bunch.
Notre Dame won't do it. They probably have the money, but they just won't do it. So
Yeah, it's just a bunch of crap. Just a bunch of crap. Let me ask you this last question, then we're going to move away from college football. Stetson Bennett as an NFL prospect, what do you think?
no,
Not at
no,
all. I mean,
no, zero.
he's going to get drafted. He'll be on a roster. He just won't he won't play.
You think he's getting drafted?
I do.
I don't. I don't see any reason to draft a 5'10" white quarterback. No, I'm not trying to be racial, but no. I see nothing about Stetson Bennett that's draftable. No.
All right, we'll see.
No. I mean, Willie may, listen, 6th, 7th round. I mean, maybe.
That's what
maybe.
I'm not talking about an early pick. I'm talking about a late.
No. But I mean, like, not 3rd or 4th round either to me.
No.
Like,
I'm
you're talking
talking
about 6th, 7th round where like people get drafted from, west to Ludaville, Kentucky.
Hey, listen.
Maybe.
Say what you want, but chances are this weekend we're going to have 2 7th-round quarterbacks from this past draft starting. So just putting it out there. You never know.
Yeah, Brock Purdy.
Let's move on to NFL. And the first thing I want to do is congratulate ourselves. Now, I don't know how many people out there know, but we're in a league every year, and what you do is it's $10 a week. You pick every game according to the spread, right? And this was you and I, we have not won a week. You win a week and you win your money back, right? $10 a week, 18 weeks, $180. We have not won a week in at least 3 years, maybe even 4 years, right?
Well, we've been doing this for 11. We should tell our audience.
No. I think it's been more like 13.
Okay, we've been doing it for 12 or 13 years. We've won it.
It's been a long time.
We've won it twice though.
And there's usually 50 to 60 people in it. So to win twice,
we're okay.
Is pretty solid,
If we were a Major League Baseball franchise, winning a title every 6 years would be considered really good.
Yeah. So we're okay with that. So anyway, the week before last, so week 17, we went 5-10. We were just garbage, and obviously one game didn't play. So we went from 4 games back to 9 games back, right?
Yeah. So we were creeping. Yeah.
We were doing really well. We were creeping up. We felt good. So we sit down. We're 9 games back, and we say, you know what? We need to kind of buck the trend here. We need to call out some games that nobody else is picking. So we're looking at the games that are like 25%, 30%. So they're low percentage games for us. So the games we had 2 games on Saturday, and then there were 14 games on Sunday. So Saturday.
And what did we do on the first game on Saturday?
No, we won the first game. We lost the second game.
No, we won the second game. The second game was my big Titans pick. I told you they'd probably lose close to Jacksonville. We lost. We lost the Kansas City Raiders game.
So we lost the Kansas City Raiders.
We lose the 4:30 Saturday game.
We win the next game, right? So we're 1-1 the first day, and then the following day on Sunday we do the unthinkable and go 14-0 against the spread. 15 winners in a row, like end up 15-1, finish 3 games back. All of a sudden we went from owing $180 to winning $750.
Oh, and winning the week. So we broke.
That's what I'm saying. We won the week. Unfriggin' believable. Nobody in the head of the league, I think he even sent around a message saying that nobody has ever won 15 games in a week.
Oh, did he? He sent something?
Yeah. It was an email that went around about that. I mean, dude,
sick.
I mean, round of applause to Darren and Phil. That was unfriggin'
Amazing.
believable.
And
15
what did we
to
do
1.
to procure this 15-1 record? We basically just said we don't know anything about football, so let's pick differently.
Yeah,
That's
we
what we
just
did.
pick completely differently, and it just, and this is the hardest week to pick. Let's be
Yeah.
honest, because you just don't know. I mean,
It is the best week that if you're just going to throw it up against a wall, it's the week to do it.
yeah. So it was fun, and it was great. So congratulations to us on that, just to
Yes.
prove that Phil is the man with his picks on the season. Not to mention the fact he did go 3-1. So Phil, you were 34 and 26 on the season, 12 and 5 in your best bets. So I got to commend you on that. Another successful season.
Thank you. Thank you. It is not easy. I listen, not quite as good as last year, although college football was even better than last
We're
year.
better in
This
college.
year I took a little bit of a last year's pro football was amazing. But
Yeah.
still 8 over 500, 7 over best bets, not a bad year.
No, not
Not a
bad
bad
at
year.
all. Not bad at all. There's a lot of NFL facts that I want to get into about the season, but I'm gonna wait until next week to do that. I think we need to
Okay.
jump right into the playoffs. All right, and
Playoff
let's start
football.
talking about this. What we're gonna do is we're gonna talk about each game very briefly, and then on the spot, I want you giving us your pick.
Okay.
All
And
right.
and just to refresh our audience as we start the playoff season,
Yep.
do you recall back in August who your predicted Super Bowl would be? I don't do this as a bad thing because I don't think it was a bad one.
I think it was I was Tampa Bay and Buffalo, right?
I believe so.
And you were I want to say you were Buffalo and the Eagles.
I was Buffalo and the Eagles. Thanks for reminding me. Yes.
You're
I
welcome.
actually, yes. I think you laughed at the pick when I said Eagles. I think you snickered. I think you were like, oh, maybe he's not a good prognosticator of football.
Now I'm just going to tell you something, okay?
All right, they are the 1 seed. I'm just saying. Maybe they don't
When,
get there, but I did pick the 1 seed.
now I will truly laugh. I'll probably cry because it's going to be so pathetic if Tampa Bay beats Dallas and then goes on and beats the Eagles.
That's not happening.
You have any idea how much grief you're going to get if that actually happens?
Well, let's just understand something. There's two distinct differences. It is an amazing prediction to have the Eagles back in August when no one had them.
That's
They
not true.
then
There
went,
were a lot of Eagles fans out
then
there.
they were, yeah, Eagles fans. Okay, well, there was Jet fans predicting a Super Bowl too. We know how that works. I'm just saying there was no neutral expert picking the Eagles to make the Super Bowl, but more so, they're a Jalen Hurts injury away from what? Being 15-2 or 16-1?
You never know.
Maybe. I mean, they were 14-3 with him missing the two of the last three.
You
So
never know. You never know. But you know what?
I'm just saying that's a
Listen,
heck of a prediction. Now let's see if it comes true.
enough bragging
All
about
right.
yourself. Okay, we can talk about you all day long. You had a hell
All
of a
right.
football season, which is why you're the football king. All right, let's be
All
honest.
right.
Let's be honest.
All right.
We're gonna dive into it. We're gonna start with the AFC first. All right.
All right.
We've got the Los Angeles Chargers away playing the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I believe the LA Chargers are actually they're giving 2.5 points. Now the interest
I got them 1.5 right now as we speak.
Oh, you got a -1.5. Okay, I'll change it.
Yeah.
I saw that this morning. The line could have moved. Now the interesting thing about that game is Herbert and Lawrence, they're each starting their first playoff start,
Yep.
and the Chargers have covered 3 straight games.
Yeah.
So what are your thoughts about this game?
I think it's an interesting game. It's the least probably exciting game for me, to be honest. But I can understand why somebody would not agree with that. In that two young, very talented quarterbacks are facing off. So in theory, that should be an exciting game. I
Yeah.
guess maybe the Chargers Jaguars don't do it for me per se. They don't like it lacks a little umph for me. I'm going to keep it simple with this prediction. I just think the Chargers are better.
Okay.
And I think the Jaguars are, yes, they've played really good of late. I didn't particularly think, I mean, they're a absolutely lucky play away from not winning that game last week against a third string quarterback at home. Right. I mean, I think they had a pick six with like 3 minutes to go to win the game.
It's true.
I knew the Titans would be trouble, but I mean, that's a third string quarterback who was signed 2 weeks ago and almost beat the Jaguars in Jacksonville. So maybe I'm just having the last view of what I've seen rub me the wrong way. But I got to think that Justin Herbert, who is a better quarterback than Trevor Lawrence today, I don't know
Today
what it'll
is.
be 3 years from now.
Yep.
He's a
Yep.
better quarterback. I think they're more battle tested. I just think they're a better team. They are going to be without Mike Williams, I saw come across the
Yep.
screen not long
Yep.
ago.
Yep.
But I do think they're just better, and I'll take Justin Herbert to win that game.
Yeah. And I think whatever happens in this game, I think it's fair to say that this is probably going to be a 3-point game.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, probably.
It
I
should
mean,
be
I
close.
actually think it might be a little lower scoring than people think. I don't know.
Yeah.
I see something like 23. I'm going to go like 23-16. I'm not going to say it's a 3-point game. I'm going to say it's like a 23-16 type of Charger win.
Okay. Okay. Fair enough.
I'll
Fair
jot
enough.
that down, actually. Let's see if that comes true. Because that's going to be a team I definitely like. I do like the Chargers this week, but I don't love the game. I'm not even going to want to watch the game, to be honest. But
No. I hear you. I hear you. Number 6 ranked Baltimore Ravens traveling to number 3 Cincinnati. The spread is Cincinnati by 9.5. And let's just talk about Baltimore for a second. They're either going to have Huntley or Brown playing quarterback against one of the hottest teams in the NFL. Do you
it's
give
going
the
to be
Ravens?
Huntley, not Brown. Brown is definitely. He was so bad last week.
I
It's
know he's
Huntley. They
bad,
said
but
he's good enough to play.
he is.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So you got still an injured Huntley who's
Yep.
decent but not great going up against
It's
this
decent.
hot team. Do the Ravens have any chance?
So I have to say this, and this will come up in the Dolphins Bills game, which you're probably going to bring up next. I'm always a little bit cautious of a division playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there's no secrets when the two teams meet up, right? So that can go one of two ways. The better team could stomp the other team because there are no secrets. You're not going to trick them. You're not. They know everything. They know all the personnel. They play it twice a year.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or because you know everything, like they're going to give you your toughest game. Like it neutralizes the maybe talent gap because it's a rivalry. It's a division game. I think without Lamar Jackson, this is a Ravens team that's been pretty bad, from mediocre to bad, depending on where you want to settle on them since a long time ago now. And Lamar Jackson never came back.
Nope.
And that's a story for another day. Is he
Yep.
really this hurt, or is this contract related, or is it a combination of both, which it probably is?
Yeah. Yeah.
I think the Bengals stomped the dog doo-doo out of the Ravens.
I do too.
I do think it's something in the vicinity of, like 31-14 type of deal. I don't think it's particularly close.
All right, fair enough, and I agree with that. I think they're going to get stomped, and then you've got another game. This is it's just this one can be ugly too. You've got number 7 Miami traveling to number 2 Buffalo, and Buffalo's favored by 13 points. Now again, you got to remember Miami is without their starting quarterback, without their backup quarterback. They got their third string quarterback, the great Skylar Thompson, who could do nothing in his last game. Actually, he's just not a very good player. Does this Dolphins team have any chance whatsoever playing in the cold Buffalo? It's going to be cold, and Buffalo is just playing good ball right now.
I mean, the last thing I remember about the Dolphins is they scored 9 points against the Jets, and the Jets punted every time they had the ball, and the Dolphins mustered 9 points until a safety with no time remaining on the clock on those 38 laterals occurred. So the Dolphins scored 9 offensive points, 6 of which came from 50-yard field goals.
That's right.
They weren't exactly threatening the Jets deep in their zone and getting stopped in the goal line. They were like barely getting in the on the Jets side of the field.
Yeah.
I mean, no, I can't. I don't love this high of a spread. This is just such a big spread, but I think Vegas is begging you to take the points, so I'm not going to fall for it. I'll lay the 13.5 with Buffalo. And if I'm going to predict this score, I do think the Dolphins will play good defense in this game. I think they have a pretty good defense. I actually think they have a pretty good roster. But again, the quarterback missing is a major problem. So I'll go something like 27-7 Buffalo.
Yeah.
I don't think the Dolphins are going to score much. I don't see how they're going to.
I don't.
I think they're going to try to run the football. I think they're going to try to possess the clock. I think they know what they need to try to do. I just don't think it's going to work.
Yeah, well, one of their receivers looked like he might be out. He just had thumb surgery. Mostert.
Oh, that's the running back. Yeah, him and Wilson. Yeah, they're missing one of their key running backs. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. But those are good calls. Let's move over to the NFC. We've got number 5 Dallas at number 4 the TB12s. It's funny, Tampa Bay, Tom Brady. Dallas is favored by 2.5. Dallas hasn't looked really good. I've got it from a expert source who's a diehard Cowboys fan that the Cowboys will not win this game. Do you agree with him?
I totally disagree. Cowboys are my best bet of the week.
Really?
Totally disagree. First of all, I just take 20 seconds to rant. I hate the fact that they went to this Monday night football format for a playoff game. It's just my own thing. Play the games on Saturday and Sunday, 3 games Saturday, 3 games Sunday. I don't need a Monday night game. Plus, I don't think it's fair to the team that wins that has to come back on very short rest. I just don't like that. I think that's
Sure.
unfair.
I
And
agree.
and it's arbitrarily unfair because it's a 4-5 matchup. Why is a 4-5 seed getting stuck on a real short turnaround? I don't like that. So, all right, I'll put that aside. I think the greatest thing that could happen to the Cowboys was just an absolute stinker last Sunday against Washington. I think it was a combination of factors. The Cowboys took the field understanding there was a very slim chance, knowing the Giants were resting everyone, that they were going to beat the Eagles. So I
Sure.
think the Cowboys, while technically playing for something, really didn't have any motivation to go to Washington and win. Washington was clearly motivated, played a really good game. Dallas did not. But Washington's front seven is no joke.
Yeah, yeah, it's
They
true.
can give people issues. It's not a defense if you don't care to play. It's not a great defense to like show up and just have to go through the motions and play. But I think it's a wake up call for Dallas. And here's the biggest reason.
Yeah,
Dallas is now, I love when a team has been told they're not winning all week long, when the team people are ignoring is how bad Tampa is. Okay, like this isn't like vintage Tampa here. This is a Tampa team that was 6-9 or 6-8 or 5-8 or five. I mean, they were just putrid in the worst division in football for 15 weeks in a row. They are a terrible team. Dallas is going to stomp the doors off them. I'm telling you, this game won't be close. Micah Parsons is going to live in Tom Brady's ear hole. This is not going to be a good game. And this game might make Tom Brady go, all right, boys,
I've had enough.
daddy's coming home. I know mommy's not there anymore, but I'm coming back. And it's over. Because if Micah Parsons catches them on a few blindside hits, this is going to get ugly. And I think Dallas, I'm not even joking in remotely. This is to me like a 28-10 final. It's not close. It's a Monday night stinker.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's move on. Number 6, New York Giants at number 3, Vikings. The Vikings are favored by 3 points. The interesting thing about this is the New York Giants, you may not know this, their record against the spread for the season is number 1 in the NFL. They were 13-4 against the spread this year, 7-1 on the road. And you've got a matchup of 2 rookie coaches. It should be really, really exciting. It looks like, these both teams have been up and down, but what do you think we have to look forward to with this game?
So there's two like there's two things that are working against my normal logic for this game. The first one is what I just used is loving the Cowboys, being that everyone's on the Bucks and everybody's telling the Cowboys at 12-5 they're not going to win the game and McCarthy might get fired. Everybody's saying the Vikings are going to lose this game. Everybody I've heard loves the Giants this week, right? Everyone loves the Giants. That scares the heck out of me. The problem I'm having just going the other way is the Vikings play every game to the wire.
They do. They do.
Every game goes down to a field goal, and or Kirk Cousins lays eggs in these games. Like he really can throw some duds in these prime time / playoff games. So that together gives me very strong hesitation to like the Vikings. So I don't want to pick this game. I was forced to by my fearless co-host right before we started. He said you have to pick all 6 games. This was going to be the game I put a giant X through and says I don't want to pick. But since I'm forced to pick it, I'm just going to take the Giants +3. I'll make a prediction on a score since I've done it on every other game. I'll say the Giants win 21-20, but I really don't love the game, and I don't love either. I think it could very well be a Viking win by 3 in a push. Like I could definitely see that.
Yeah.
But I'll take the Giants to win because I really haven't picked many upsets yet. I guess
Yep.
I mean because the Cowboys are technically favored. Actually, I've taken all favorites, so I feel good. I took an underdog.
All right. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. And our last game, number 7, Seattle, that gets in by the skin of their teeth, takes on number 2 at home, 49ers. 49ers are favored by 9.5. Couple interesting things about the 49ers. Purdy, since becoming the starting quarterback, has won 6 straight. And let's be honest, there is no team that's as hot as the 49ers right now who have won 10 straight games. Are they looking at putting number 11 in their streak?
Okay, so here's the deal with this game. I so want to just say the Niners are going to win this game 37-7, right? Like this is because we've seen bad Geno lately
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
most part.
He hasn't
Now
been good.
the Jet game aside, the Jet game was a little weird. It was a couple weeks ago. Um, they, he had a decent game against the Jets, but they actually ran on them more. Um, he didn't really do much. Metcalf had nothing, so whatever. I mean, it wasn't a great offensive game. Geno hasn't been great. He was great for the first, I don't know, 13 weeks though.
Yeah, yeah.
I cannot, I cannot in good faith with a division matchup. I cannot take Brock Purdy laying 10 points. I have it at 10 points, but if it's 9.5, 9.5, I don't care.
Whatever the case is.
I'm going to take Seattle getting the points. I
Wow.
just am a little bit concerned that the Purdy euphoria is going to lose a little steam after this week. Now, should they find a way to beat a very mediocre Seattle team at home? Yes, they should find a way to win the game. But there's just something about this game that gives me like tingles, little tingles, that this is going to be way closer than the experts think. And Geno's going to vastly outperform Mr. Purdy, and they're going to be life or death to win this game. And I wouldn't be shocked if Seattle stuns the world, just not Phil Calise. So I'm going to go, I'm not going to go as far as the full stunning. I'm going to go Niners 23, Seattle 20. But I'm taking Seattle with the points.
I'll tell you something, man. I think that's bold considering that Seattle's defense is that good and Geno Smith is not playing that good.
I hear you. You meant the Niners defense. I got you. You said Seattle, but I know
I
what
said
you mean.
Seattle. Yeah, I meant the Niners. Yeah, the Niners
Yeah.
defense is just
Why?
not.
Bosa and his 19 sacks is supposed to scare me? What are you talking about?
He's going to be eating Geno Smith for lunch.
All right, we'll see. I understand. I totally understand. You're picking, you're
And
one of the
let me tell you
sheep. You're
something.
one of the sheep going out to pasture with the rest of the experts. I got it. I
Christian
understand.
McCaffrey is going to have a touchdown rushing. He's going to have a touchdown receiving. He's going to have a touchdown passing. He's going to have a touchdown. They're going to put him in. He's going to have a touchdown on a block punt. He's going to return a missed field goal for a touchdown. He's going to get an interception, pick six. Okay,
He's not going to throw one. He's got to throw one.
He's not going to throw one. No, he's not going to throw one. He's going to score all these
I,
touchdowns.
I will throw you this bone with your making fun of my pick. Even though I am football king,
You are
and
football
we
king.
did just give me all the accolades, I will throw you a bone. Of the 6 picks I made and the 6 summaries I provided, it's definitely the one I think I could look bad on next week on. It's the one I feel most vulnerable to because I started by saying I want to say the Niners are going to win 37-7. Like that's when I look at it, I say that's what it should be. I just got this weird I'm just going on a weird gut feeling.
All right. Fair enough.
Again, that would be number 2 game I would not pick though. The Vikings Giants and the Niners Seattle game would be the 2 games of the 6 I would have stayed away from. I wouldn't bet on if it was my money I was putting on it.
You know, the way that I see it is it's one of those weeks where I think that the teams that are much better are going to show that they're much better. And that's the 49ers, the Bills, and the Bengals. I think those 3 games are not going to be close. And I think the other games are going to be pretty good.
No, I get it. I get that. The only difference between the 3 games you named is Seattle does have their quarterback and everything is they're intact. The other ones are catastrophes in the making. 3rd string quarterbacks, problems at quarterback, like the problems at quarterback and going on the road. I get that's a problem. I agree. That's why I laid the points on those. Yeah, I get that.
Well, we will see, my friend. We will see. But that is an abbreviated, quick pick version of the week. We'll come back, and next week when we come back, we're gonna talk about the first team All-Pro team and who got in, who got elected, because that was announced today. We're going to talk about some NFL records that were set this year, including an 84-year-old record. 82-year-old record that was finally broken. We're going to talk about that. That's pretty exciting. So
we also should just have a little mocking. We should have a little laugh at the expense of Carlos Correa, who found a 3rd team, one finally signing off on his bum ankle. And then in the press conference said his heart belonged in Minnesota. And I'm going, I don't think so, bro.
yeah, seriously.
Because it seems like you signed with 2 other teams first, but all right.
Well, let's just say one thing about Correa. I want to congratulate him because he officially signed $865 million worth of contracts in the offseason. So way to go, Carlos. Great job.
Can't
Great
say
guy.
he wasn't really liked and wanted.
Yeah, he is. He is definitely liked and wanted and overpaid. But anyway, everybody have a great weekend. Enjoy the playoffs. I think it's going to be an awesome, awesome weekend. We've had some great football all season. I think that's going to continue. Take Phil's picks to the bank, at least 4 of them. See what happens. But we will look forward to seeing everybody next week. And have a great weekend, everybody. Thanks for checking us out.
Take care.
Bye-bye.